Hello, fellow UG parents. My name is Paula Carbonera, and I'm the founder of UG Parenting. Thank you so much for joining us today. We took a short break so that I could settle in and get organized and unpack, and we finally finished moving into our new place. So forgive us for that short break, but we're back with new content and a whole lot of things for us to discuss. Today, I would like to talk about how to manage stress. Because of the current situation that we're living in, a lot of us have experienced stress at home or are experiencing it or will experience it because of the lockdown, or some people having lost their jobs or maybe cut back the hours that they're in the office, so they're spending more time at home. And also the children being at home more has created sort of a cauldron of just conditions that make stress inevitable. So today I want to talk about how we can manage our stress to make us happier, healthier parents. A happy, healthy parent is a good parent. A stressed out parent, no matter how present you are or how engaged you are, if you're stressed, you're not doing anyone any good. So our topic today, 5 ways to manage stress at home. Tip number 1, 5 tips, 5 ways, tricks, whatever you want to call it. Tip number 1 is quiet time. It's important as a parent to find time for yourself. Quiet time is time alone, just you, your thoughts, your dreams, your aspirations, whatever. It doesn't have to be long, drawn out. It could be just 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, whatever it may be, but just time for you to collect yourself, to breathe, to calm down and reflect on, what you're doing. This quiet time allows us to refocus, to reset ourselves, and to it re-energizes us to go back out and deal with the stresses that are out there. Some people feel guilty taking quiet time. They feel like this is time that I could be spending with my children or spending with my spouse or pouring into my family. But you can only pour out what you have. If you're depleted, if you're stressed out, if you're worn out, you're not going to be pouring much into your family. In fact, you're going to be damaging them instead of hurting them. So it's important for you to take quiet time to pour into yourself, to re-energize yourself, to, so you can come back a better parent. So that's tip number 1, quiet time. All these tips can be found on our website, www.ugparenting.com. So go check it out. And as usual, these are just the highlights. You'll find the details on the website. So tip number 2, find an outlet. Find an outlet for your pent-up energy, for your frustrations, for even your creative juices that don't get flowing at home. You need to find an outlet for them, because if you just let them sit there and you just let all these things fester, eventually you'll explode. Think of yourself like a pressure cooker without, that valve that lets the pressure escape. Without that valve that lets the pressure escape, you're going to one day explode, hurting everyone around you. So you need that valve, you need that outlet, you need that thing that lets you just, vent, that lets you whatever. And it could be anything. It could be playing a sport. Things that release endorphins are really good as an outlet. So playing sports, reading a good book, taking a bath, a nice long bath, those of you who like baths, doing something creative, maybe drawing, or even dancing, just listening to music, whatever it may be. Just find an outlet and make time to do it. You time is helpful for the whole family, so don't feel guilty taking you time. Don't feel guilty having some me time, because like I said, a happy, healthy parent is a good parent. So that's number 2, find an outlet. So quiet time, find an outlet. And again, these don't have to take, you don't have to take like 5 hours out of your day to have quiet time or find out. Just an hour here and there, So tip number 3, reevaluate your parenting expectations. A lot of us came into parenting with expectations of the kind of parents we're going to be and the kind of children we're going to have. We thought we're going to be, the Mary Poppins type parents, or perfect parents with these little cherub angels for children who do everything that they are told to do and say, yes, mommy, please, mommy, thank you, mommy. But reality hits, and we got children with minds of their own, with wills of their own, with opinions, and they're not afraid to share their opinions. And you are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So we need to reevaluate our expectations of our children. Sometimes we expect more from our children than they're capable of, considering their developmental stage. And so when we don't get what we expect from them, we view it as disobedience or um, or rebellion, or something negative, and then we react to that, and then we're in full parenting mode after they're being disobedient about. But sometimes you need to stop and think, am I expecting too much from this child? For example, toddlers make messes. That is who they are. That's how they experience their world around them. It's through play, through making messes, that they learn. And so if we expect our toddlers to be neat 24/7, we're just setting ourselves up for failure and for disappointment. Teenagers are moody. It has been scientifically proven there's a lot going on in their brains, a lot of chemicals that have been released that even they don't understand what's going on in their brains, all the emotions that they're feeling combined with puberty. So they're moody. They're going to have days where they don't want to talk to you, don't want to see your face, want to lock themselves in their room, days where they want to cry, days where they want to hang out with you. That's to be expected. They're not being disobedient, they're not being rebellious, they're just going through a lot. So you need to understand where your child is developmentally before you react as a parent. Reevaluate your parenting expectations, and that will save us a lot of stress, because unmet expectations equals stress. Unmet expectations equals disappointments, equals hurt, equals anger, equals, this can actually be used in a lot of areas in our lives, not just parenting. Reevaluate your expectations of everything, of your friends, of your spouses, whoever has disappointed you, We can't view life through our own lenses and think that's the way life is supposed to be. Everyone has an opinion, perspectives, whatever. Anyways, going off on a tangent. Back to the points, how to manage stress. So that was tip number 3, reevaluate your parenting expectations. Understand where your child is developmentally, what they can and can't do. Tip number 4, remember who they are and what your job is. This is very important. Remember that they are a blessing from God. Children are a blessing. No matter how many tantrums they've thrown, how many hurtful words they've yelled at you, how many times they've been disobedient or disrespectful, how many embarrassing things they've done, they are a blessing from God. They are your blessing. Remember that. Every day, look at your children and remember that they are your blessing. And second part of this is remember what your job is. Your job as a parent is to love them unconditionally, no matter what. Everything else is secondary. First, love them unconditionally, no matter what. They need to know that no matter what I do, no matter who I am, no matter what I say, this person loves me. They need to feel secure in your love. That's the basis of everything. That's where, good parenting starts, is once you have built that foundation of love, then you have the authority to speak into their lives. Then you have the authority to give them advice, to correct them when they've gone wrong, and then as they grow older too, they know that they can always come back to you, no matter where life takes them. They know that I have that secure attachment, that secure place that I can go to and just be myself. So remember, they are your blessing, and your job, your number one job as a parent, is to love them unconditionally, no matter what. How does this help us manage stress? Well, in those stressful times when they're just, yelling at you, not listening to you, whatever is happening, remember, my job right now is to love them unconditionally. Sometimes it helps to take a break, stop. If they're little kids, bend your knees, get down to eye level, look into their eyes, and just speak to them in a calm voice. My job right now is to love you unconditionally, no matter what. So let's pause this fight, this bickering, whatever it is, this tantrum, we'll come back to it. Right now, I'm just going to love you. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5, grant grace. Grant yourself grace, grant your children grace, grant your spouse, your partner, whatever grace, grant your nanny, your maids grace, grant everybody in that home who is helping you parent your child grace. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Beating ourselves up as parents about the things we should have done, could have done differently, does nobody any good. it just makes us feel guilty, makes us feel miserable, and we transfer those feelings onto our children or to the people around us, and then there's generally a miserable feeling in the home. Grant yourself grace. You are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all mess up. But that's why we have a new day. There's something beautiful about waking up every day to a new day. You know, those of you who are Christians, the Bible says his mercies are new every morning for a reason. Every morning is a new day, a new beginning, a new time for you to start fresh all over again. I made mistakes today. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try to be my best. And then there's a new month, new year. I mean, things are always renewing. That's the beauty about the world that we live in. Things are always renewing. You don't have to live in the condemnation, the guilt, and the shame of your mistakes. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and move on. Forgive your children. They've messed up today. That doesn't mean they're horrible children. That doesn't mean they're going to amount to nothing. That doesn't mean they're doomed. Nope, they make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So grant grace all round. This will help you save a lot of stress. Stress comes from us holding on to things, not forgiving, not letting things go, or thinking the worst. Some of us have minds that just run to the worst possible scenario, worst case scenario every time something happens. Oh no, they've lied to me. They're going to turn into liars and then eventually murderers. My kids are doomed. I failed as a parent. No, calm down. They've told you a lie. It's not okay. Correct them, but grant them grace. This is not who they are. The mistakes they make are not who they are. They're human beings, flawed human beings, just like you and I. So, those are the 5 tips to help us manage stress in our parenting. 1, quiet time, very important. 2, find an outlet. 3, reevaluate your parenting expectations. Perhaps do this with your spouse or whoever helps you parent your children. Sit down and write your expectations from your children, 4, remember who they are. They are a blessing. They are your blessing. And what your job is to love them unconditionally, no matter what. That's a double, no, not a double negative. It's like, what? It's repetitive, whatever. Because unconditionally means no matter what. But anyways, I just wanted to emphasize, love them unconditionally, no matter what. All you grammar people must be freaking out. Deal with it. And number 5, grant grace all round. Grant grace. Thank you so much for joining me today. Next week we will be talking about how to deal with, how can I phrase this? Not high-spirited, strong-willed children. I'm sure all of you have one. And if you don't, how blessed you are. But we're going to be talking about how to handle strong-willed children, how to love them, how to help channel their strong-willedness in the right direction, because that strong-willedness is what is going to make them the leaders of the future. It's what's going to make them succeed in life. So we don't want to break their strong will. We just want to guide it in the right direction. That's what we'll be discussing next week. So please tune in, and please check out the website www.ugparenting.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We will keep you updated on that on all those social platforms. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again next time.